My name is Jenna Pierce, and I am nearing the end of my high school years because I graduate from Keystone in 11 days next week. In this video, which is the final project of my senior year, I would like to talk about the things that were most important to me throughout my time in high school, such as my greatest memory, people I want to thank, a lesson that I've learned, a quote from literature, and finally, words of wisdom to the young. At Keystone, I have made numerous incredible memories with many amazing people and learned countless meaningful lessons, and you're about to see them all. During my time at Keystone, I have made many incredible memories, but the one that stands out the most to me is being in the school musical Footloose in my senior year. Doing this show meant so much to me because it felt like I was reconnecting with an old part of myself. What I mean by this is from ages 9 to 14, I took acting classes at Clarion Center for the Arts. Along with these classes, I also participated in the theater programs at Franklin, Clarion University, and Keystone when I did West Side Story in 8th grade. Even though I loved performing, I stopped after that year to drive my attention toward basketball and softball. After this decision, I solely played sports from 9th to 11th grade, but once this school year started, I realized I missed performing on stage, and this was my last chance as a senior. To juggle sports and the musical, I decided to continue playing basketball and leave the softball team so that I can be in Footloose without having too much on my plate. After the first rehearsal, I started to regret my decision because this environment was different from my past theater experience, but as time passed, I enjoyed being in the musical more with every rehearsal. By closing night, I endured this show and its cast, and attending practices became my favorite part of my day. Regarding the show aspect, I greatly liked performing Footloose because the songs were enjoyable to sing and the choreography was fun and exciting, coming from a person with very little dance ability. Another reason why Footloose meant so much to me is because I was with the cast so often, I made new friends, and became closer to those I already knew. As a whole, being involved in Footloose in my senior year was my best memory in high school, and out of the many plays and musicals I've been in my life, this final performance was my favorite by a long shot, and I would do it all over again if I could. In my time here at Keystone and throughout my life, many different people have helped me to become who I am today, such as my family, friends, and teachers. First, I'd like to thank my family for always being my biggest supporters in everything I do. To my mom, thank you for the endless love and care, for always talking with me about my struggles, and for making sure that our family had food to eat, clothes to wear, and a roof over our heads. To my dad, thank you for all the late night talks about the weirdest things and pretending to be interested in the things I enjoy. To my older brother, Brandon, thank you for being my best friend growing up, always playing with me when we were younger, and listening to my gossip about high school as young adults now. To Gigi and Papa, thank you for the numerous times you've let me stay at your place, for always showing me love, care, and support in all I do, and for admittedly spoiling me with many gifts over the years. To Grandma, Auntie, and the rest of my dad's side of the family, even though we only get to see each other once or twice a year, thank you for your endless love and support from afar. Finally, to Trinity, who is basically family, thank you for being the older sister I never had for the past almost 6 years and letting me tag along with you and my brother for dinners and ice cream. To my entire family, all of your love, care, and support in all I do has helped me in my life because it has kept me motivated to do my best in all I do, whether it be academics, athletics, or the arts. Secondly, I'd like to thank all of my friends for giving me countless memories in high school that I will cherish forever. To my senior friends and classmates, thank you for being by my side for the past 13 years, and even though I may not have been close with all of you, everyone will forever be a part of me as we go our separate ways. To Sydney, thank you for being one of my closest friends these past 3 years and for always doing dumb things with me in basketball, softball, work, and classes. To Isaiah, even though you live in Georgia, thank you for being my best friend, for always letting me rant to you through text, and just for everything. To my underclassmen friends, I never would have guessed I would be so close to the people younger than me, but I wouldn't change a thing. All of you have given me so much joy and memories over the years, and as I leave you, I know every single one of you are on to do great things in this world. To Amanda, Brianna, Mia, Morgan, Ashley, Jill, Ava, Gwen, and Jersey, thank you for making basketball an incredible experience for me. And to Amanda and Bree, thank you for giving me so many fun work memories. To Sydney and Olivia, thank you for being my best friends in this year's musical, going on trips to McDonald's and Sheetz with me, and for all of the Taylor Swift karaoke in my car. To Alana and Sarah, thank you for making me laugh the hardest I've ever laughed in my life at our lunch table, for all the jokes about how dumb I can be, and for naming my car the Pineapple Express. To Jordan, Caleb, Callie, and Abby, thank you for always talking with me and making me laugh, whether it be in the musical or choir. Finally, to Emma, my first younger friend. You've been one of my most loyal friends in my life since we were 5 years old, and I want to thank you for always being there for me in basketball, softball, musical, and work. To all of my friends, all the time we've spent together and the endless memories we've made have helped me by letting me realize that I am not alone in this world and life gets better. Finally, I'd like to thank all of my teachers for helping me realize I want to be a teacher, for making school more fun, and for being an inspiration to me during my school years. Though I am grateful for every single teacher I've ever had, I would like to especially thank Mrs. Albright, Mr. Kiefer, Mrs. McCants, Mrs. Corson, Mrs. McElravy, and Ms. Rakowski. In conclusion, I have had many people in my life who have helped me become who I am today, and I have to give endless thanks to every single one of them. The greatest lesson I have learned during my time here at Keystone is that the path to success is not a straight line. Throughout my entire school life, I've known that I tend to exceed in my classes compared to my peers, but as I got older, I began unhealthily feeding off of this academic validation. This validation went from being a want in elementary school to being a need in high school, and this change of thinking helped teach me this lesson. Starting around 8th or ninth grade, I would excessively study for my classes because in my head, failing a test was the worst thing that could happen to me. While it's always good to prepare for tests, I would study content I already knew for hours and never let myself have any free time. However, the next year, I learned the lesson that the path to success is not a straight line after failing my first test in my history class in 10th grade. When I received my test score, I thought it was the end of the world, but when I looked at my grade in the class, I still had an A. It was this moment that taught me this lesson because I realized that even though I failed one test, I was still a successful student. After this, in my junior and senior years of high school, I still wanted good grades, but I knew that if I failed a test or didn't do as well on an assignment, I would be okay because I would still be a good student. As expected, in these 2 years, my grades slightly dropped, but I still had straight A's, so it didn't matter as much to me anymore. I started to allow myself to spend less time studying and more on the things I like, such as sports, music, and spending time with family and friends. To this day, even after my realization in 10th grade, I am still in the running for valedictorian of my graduating class, proving that the path to success is not a straight line. In short, my time in high school has taught me a valuable lesson that the path to success is not a straight line in both school and the real world. A quote from literature that has impacted me and I find tattoo-worthy is from a book called Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. It reads, "Push yourself, don't settle, just live well, just live." This quote has impacted me because in 9 short words, it touches on the things I find most important in life. In the first 2 sentences, I believe it is crucial to push yourself to work hard and not settle for anything less. Regarding the following lines, even though they are simple, they inspire me because I think the idea of just living your life is beautiful. In short, this quote from Jojo Moyes' book has impacted me because I believe you must push yourself to be the best you can be, never settle for anything less than what you want or deserve, and finally, just live your life. While this is a great line to follow in high school years, I think you should also live by this in the bigger world, which is what I plan to do. Moving away from literature, another quote that perfectly wraps up how I feel about graduation and has impacted me is from Taylor Swift's song Long Live from her third album, Speak Now. The line reads, "It was the end of a decade, but the start of an age." According to Genius, Taylor Swift wrote this song while looking back at her fondest memories of her career, none of which would be possible without her fan base and band. Even though she composed this lyric with this idea in mind, it often resonates with me when I think about graduating from high school. When it comes to leaving Keystone, this line reminds me that even though this chapter of my life is coming to a sad close, there is a much bigger world waiting for me once I start college at Edinburgh in the fall. This lyric means so much to me that I plan to have it on my cap for graduation and in my speech for the ceremony. In short, I must thank Taylor Swift for this quote that perfectly summarizes my feelings about graduating from high school and leaving Keystone. If I had to give some words of wisdom to those younger than me, I would tell them two things. The first would be about their final years of school and would say, do not procrastinate on your schoolwork. As someone who admittedly tended to procrastinate on schoolwork until the last minute, I would tell the young to finish any work as soon as possible. During my sophomore and junior years of high school, I was terrible at not procrastinating on my assignments because I wouldn't start anything until the night before it was due. However, as bad as I was with my procrastination, I never turned in anything late. This behavior in these years gave me lots of stress, even though I would not have had it if I managed my time better. Luckily, in my senior year, I stopped doing this for the most part. Now I can focus on my life after high school rather than rushing to finish assignments at the last minute. To those I am giving this advice to, even if next year isn't their senior year, it is still better to finish schoolwork as soon as possible to make life in high school less stressful than it needs to be. Steering away from school, the words of wisdom I give to those younger than me about life is, don't take life too seriously right now. In my life, I have come across people around my age who tend to take everything in life very seriously, and in my opinion, this does not seem enjoyable. While there are things in this world that are serious and should be seen this way, for the most part, these are the years to take life lightly and have fun because we are still teenagers. Once you turn 18 and become an adult, you must mature as you get new responsibilities, such as money, college, jobs, families, and other things. However, currently, those younger than me are at most 17, and to me, even though you should strive not to be too immature, there's no reason right now to take everything very seriously because the time to have the most fun of your life is now. As I mentioned earlier, commencement to me is both an ending and a beginning. Even though I am sadly closing this chapter of my life, I am also beginning the next chapter when I start college in the fall. As I leave high school, I will take and forever carry with me all of the memories I've made with my family, friends, teachers, and coaches. Goodbye, Keystone. Thank you for everything. It's been great.